And this one's called remote. I have trouble. I have to troubleshoot customer computer, but it's not connected to company VPN, but it's connected to her home network. How can I remote in? This is an excellent question. Now this time I'm going to remember to assign a ticket to myself. There we go. You can connect and take control of somebody's computer while they're not on a VPN, and that's by creating a session that that is called a remote session that they can join to. Sort of like you can do the same kind of same thing with meeting software like Zoom. What's some other ones? Some kind of meeting software. Why can't I think of more than one meeting software? BlueJeans, Zoom, there's Google Meeting, WebEx, all those things. You can create a meeting, send them a link to it, and they can join it. They can join it, and then from there you can request to take control of their computer. That's one way. But if you're using a remote software, remote control software like Dimware, you can send invitation to join a remote session, which is this here, where it says invite user to join remote session. I can't do it here because my Dimware is not connected to a business network, or it's not set up like that. But once you click this, and I do this at work all the time, you select invite user to join remote session, and it creates a link, a web link with instructions, and then you send that to them. You can send that to them, and then they join your session, in which you take control of their computer and then troubleshoot any issues. However, there is an issue when you do that, when you're not connected to the network, and that is an issue where in which you are required to use administrator credentials to install or make changes to a computer. So for example, if I were to make changes, let's see, I'm just going to pick a random thing here. Hold on. Anything that requires you to use admin privileges. I'm looking for something that I can install. Here it is, shared. Now, why is this not working? Okay, I must have disabled that network drive. We can fix that in a future video, because I saw there is a ticket in there about installing from a shared drive. But anyways, it could be anything that you're trying to run as administrator. For example, let me see if this thing will come up. VLC Media. It's gonna ask for an update. Okay, that's not what I want. Is this set up properly? Anyways, what I was going to say, you cannot install programs without administrator privileges, right? So for that to happen, you would need, you see how it's right now asking me for administrator privileges? This is not going to work when you're not connected to VPN. When you're not connected to VPN, meaning that you're not connected to that network, which also means that you're not connected to the domain, and your credentials are domain credentials. You see, you cannot authenticate yourself unless you're connected to the network, unless you're connected to the domain, because your login credentials, whatever you use to use your login to log into your computer, your administrator privileges are connected to the domain, so it's not going to work. So for that, you would have to get, and hopefully this is set up in a business environment, you would have to get what it's called local administrator login. So if, for example, you look at user profiles here, and this most likely will be invisible profile that is in here. It'll be called admin or something like that, and it would have administrator privileges. So you need to find that. You need to find what that is for that specific computer, for this specific host name. So if you find the computer host name, here it is in devices. You can see the device name here is just called stream. That's the name of this computer. You would look up stream, the name of this computer, copy it, go to the database that has a list of passwords for the local administrator, paste it in there, and then look it up to see what that is. And now, whenever you make changes, you can use those credentials to, update it, because you would need a local, not connected to the network, administrator privileges to troubleshoot issues, to make changes. Okay, so if you go to your control panel, for example, you can see what the user accounts are in there. And you can see that this one is just a local account, that it's password protected. And you can select, well, let's see here, manage other accounts. And you can see that this is just a regular local account, and this one here is an administrator local account. So in some cases, you can have some elevated privileges when it comes to making changes, basic changes based off local account. But if you don't have administrator login, then it's not going to work. So, going back to advanced properties, so this is advanced system settings. You see how it keeps asking me? I wouldn't be able to open this without having administrator account. You can see under these profiles that the stream, the name of the computer, device name is before it, and then we got a backslash, and then it says big power is the admin account, and Kuppelman is just a regular one. So there you go. That's how I would do this. Thank you very much for the ticket. I'm going to reply and say you can use meeting software to invite and then take control of the computer. Simply send them a meeting link that they can join to. Also, remote software can create sessions for which you can send a link to user. I think this is clear enough. I think D understands what I'm saying here, and D will probably watch this and understand what I'm saying here.